More public housing going up in the suburbs. Several hundred more units may be bought or built. 9 News reporter Tom McKee joins us to explain why. Tom?
We're talking about public housing here, units owned by the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority and then rented out. There are 482 of them in Hamilton County, but outside the city limits of Cincinnati. The agreement between the Housing Authority and the Hamilton County Commissioners could add 375 more. Hamilton County's commissioners will vote in early June on a cooperation agreement to increase the county's public housing units by 80%. Commission President Greg Hartman says voting yes is the only choice.
I'm not a supporter of the huge proliferation of public housing, but this specific instance, we've got to reach an agreement with the federal government. If we didn't, we'd be inviting a federal discrimination lawsuit, and that would be bad for the county.
Attorney Robert Newman says he feels townships and municipalities outside the city will also agree to avoid new lawsuits and losing federal funds.
They don't want to have the great expense, and they don't want to have to lose community block grant funds. So I think this is a no-brainer.
That's right. Those getting community development block grant funds could lose those dollars for noncompliance.
This is good for the county and good for the townships because public housing stabilizes neighborhoods. It's good for the market. This is going to be well-maintained and good housing, and it's good for people.
Some people don't share that viewpoint, though.
I think that public housing has seen declines in real estate values, and I think that's clearly a problem.
Padura has 2 public housing units right now, but is one of 8 communities to opt out of the agreement, since it is not eligible for block grant funds. City Manager Tom Moeller said some might think the community is being snobbish, but that's not the case.
I can see where some people would have that perception, but in reality, from our perspective, we look at it as we're leaving the money available for other communities.
This has nothing to do with housing choice vouchers. That's a separate program, totally separate. It also is not directly related to the current negotiations between the Housing Authority and the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. That's a separate case that also could be settled in early June. Tom McKee, 9 News.
The Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority responded to our story with this statement. The majority of residents served by CMHA are elderly and working families. CMHA enforces very strict guidelines for resident conduct, safety, and crime and building codes. Studies indicate conclusively that affordable housing has little or no effect on neighboring property values, which are more closely tied to broader trends in neighborhood prosperity, expansion, infrastructure, and development.
Down trees.